Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be the only 3 ways this will end. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So I am up near the structure. I'm up near this beautiful cabin, and today is a great day to create a video. It's raining up here, and the air is perfect, and it's entering the end of summertime. But the only 3 ways this will end, yes, I'm referring to the narcissistic relationship. There are 3 ways that it will end, and you probably know 2 of them. And the third one, you may know, maybe you're experiencing it right now, but you will find out, so stay tuned. The first way we know is the discard. This is when the narcissist has taken as much as they possibly could from you. This is when they twist the knife in people after marriages of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. This is when they get a new supply. This is when they act like you never existed. This is when they parental alienate you from your children. This is when they scoop up all the money and claim that you never lifted a finger to do anything, despite the fact that perhaps you gave birth to the kids and raised them. This is when they draw out or drag out the legal system. This is when they act like they are the victim and you are the toxic person. The discard is unlike any other experience that you've ever endured. Now, the narcissistic relationship in and of itself is just that. It's unlike any other relationship that you had endured as well. But the discard is the ending. And the discard is meant to twist the knife in people, to inflict the maximum damage to them at their lowest point. Usually the discard takes place around a holiday or a birthday or a special event, or when you just lost your job, or when you just graduated a university or something. Meaning the discard is not just, they don't just pick a date. The discard is timed. And the narcissist knows that each and every one of the relationships that they have a part of will have an expiration date. Now, having said that, if you experience the discard, you know what I'm talking about. You were probably an empath, and you probably still are, kind, loving, stable, healthy person. You were giving to a fault, maybe even a people pleaser, but you were committed in that relationship. The person you're considering was not committed. They may have claimed that they loved you. They may have claimed that they understood you. They may have claimed they wanted to grow old with you. They probably sold you a bill of goods. They future faked you. They told you that you could do A, B, and C, and when X, Y, and Z was done, this will take place. What they were doing is stringing you along. What they were doing was studying you when they first met you. Many times the narcissist does just that. They study the people that they're approaching. They study the people they're targeting. They will spy on their social media. They will talk to their friends or colleagues or neighbors or people in hobby groups or communities, and they'll learn all about this person, which probably was you. It definitely was me. And when the narcissist is studying you and figuring out who you are, and they're watching you up close and observing you, and they have their enablers and flying monkeys peeking on your social and infiltrating your relationships and your hobby groups and maybe even where you work, well, then they have a huge advantage. But remember, the narcissist had a huge advantage from the minute they met you up until and including the moment you figured out what narcissism was. That was when it was advantage you. But having said that, the discard is meant to have the narcissist finally rip off the mask that was becoming too heavy for them or too cumbersome for them to wear or utilize any longer. And they would smash it on the ground into 1,000 pieces. And they would give you the smirk, and their pupils would swell up with beach ball-like supply, and they would be giving you the grin and looking at you saying, yep, this is me, it's who I am. Now, they're not going to tell you they're the narcissist. Quite the opposite. They're going to tell you you're the narcissist and that you're the one that needs mental help and you're the one that needs to see a therapist, etc. Well, that's what the narcissist knows that they need, but they will never admit it because the narcissist can't introspect and they can't be accountable. And they'll never look inward. They'll never, and I mean never, lift a finger to do anything to improve their circumstances by themselves other than to manipulate other people to do things for them. So again, when the narcissist took whatever they wanted from you, maybe it was when the children were of legal age, or maybe it was when they went to high school, or maybe it was when the narcissist took as much money from you as they possibly could. Maybe it was when your health took a hit. Maybe it was when you inherited money from a loved one who passed. Or maybe it was something else. Whenever that happened, this is when the narcissist usually wants to rear their ugly head and not only twist the knife, but to discard people. So that is the #1 way these relationships end. Most of us in the community, most of us have been discarded by the narcissist. Now you may say, well, yeah, I was, but it wasn't as bad as that. Well, I'll tell you right now, think about why you're watching the videos. because you're healing, because you have to heal from this relationship. This is the relationship you need to heal from, whether you want to admit it or not. The narcissist has nothing to heal from. They will just slither off onto new sources of supply or recycled sources of supply. And those supply sources, again, they will be discarded in time unless one of the other two things happens, which is the only three ways these relationships end, which I'll get into in a moment, takes place first. But nobody, and I mean nobody, is safe from the jaws or from the tentacles from the narcissist. Not one person. Not their own children, not their stepchildren, not their spouses, their former spouses, not their siblings, their parents, not their besties of 10, 20, 30 years, wink, wink, not their colleagues. Nobody is safe from these people, because if you don't do what the narcissist wants you to do, then you could become the next target. If you do, you're still not safe, because you have another endless to-do list tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after. This is why they chew up people and spit them out. This is why the narcissist is a walking cyclone of abuse. It's why they're a ticking time bomb of devastation, and it's why they live and exist in a minefield of manipulation. They know exactly what they're doing. If you think for a moment they don't, you need to really take a good hard look at the person you're considering and pay attention and recognize all the red flags that you ignored, all of your instincts and your intuition that you did not trust, and why you stayed in it so long. Well, it's because you were probably in the trauma bond, but you were believing in the mask. So yes, the narcissist knows what they're doing. And the first way these relationships end, the first of only three ways they end, is the discard. And my hope is you weren't discarded. If you were, you know it was a very, very challenging experience, to say the least, just like the narcissistic relationship was. But when you're discarded and it comes out of left field and you don't know what's happening and you don't know what narcissism is, this is what they are hoping for. They're hoping to extinguish, and I hope you read between the lines, people's beautiful, bright, shining light. They don't want people to live another day to tell the tale of the truth about how the narcissist manipulated you, or took everything from you, or cheated on you, or stole, or blew up your relationships, or parental alienated you, or financially abused you, and more. This is why they want to extinguish people. Yes, I've said it twice. It's because it's real. So the first way of three that these relationships end, and there are only three, is the discard. The second way is a way that fewer of us have experienced, but the people that have done this are extremely strong, as are anybody who has been fortunate or strong enough to identify what narcissism is, which include the people who are discarded. But the second way these relationships end is if that person ends it themselves. When I say ends it, I'm not saying discard the narcissist, although that could be the case. I'm saying to develop, create, and get ready to execute your exit plan, which means now you have understood what narcissism is, and now you know that the clock is ticking, and you have a timeline or a deadline or a target date when you want to be out of that relationship. Again, many times it's when the house is sold, it's when the divorce is final, it's when the custody is administered or divided, and it's when you finally realize that this relationship is a sinking ship, and you've put so much into it and you've gotten back absolutely zero in return. It's when you were smart enough and wise enough to figure it out, many times when you are in the relationship and you know that something's off, but you can't quite figure it out, and you know that you have to get out of it. So again, when you're in these relationships, you're helpless, you're flailing, you are drowning in an ocean of abuse. The narcissist is sticking their foot on your head, trying to push you under more and more and more. They are not reaching their arm down to pull you out of the toxic ocean. They're trying to make sure you don't get any more breaths. This is what they do. This is how they twist the knife in people. So the second way, and I'll touch on it a little bit more, is when a person, which in this case perhaps is and or was you, is strong enough to end it themselves. This means they've either broken the trauma bond, or they're about to break the trauma bond, or they're working on breaking it. It also means that they are cutting the four ties: the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. And all of these ties must be cut one way or another when you're out of these relationships, when you are healing, if you heal properly. If you don't heal properly, one of those four connections will still be connected to you, and you're still gonna have work to do. I had to cut all four. I had to teach myself what the four were, which is how I coined the expression and the phrase years ago. And it is no more true today than it was years ago. Those four ties are real, and if you think they're not, think again. I will say it one more time: the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. Those are your four ties. There are no more ties that need to be broken. It is those four exclusively. And yes, I did coin that expression years ago because, again, I had to put myself back together against all odds during a challenging period of time. Wink, wink, 5 years ago. If you were alive back then, you know what I'm talking about. But I did it against all odds, and I was discarded. But focusing on the second way, if you were one of the people that entered it yourself, you realized it wasn't going to be easy. You also realized you had to plan under the radar. You had to continue to stay in the proximity or vicinity or maybe even the household with the narcissist, and you had to slowly remove things from your house and from your mind and from your connections with them. I'm not going to go into too many details here, but if you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. And there are thousands of people I've helped to create, develop, and execute their own exit plan because I mastered my own against all odds. And if I did it, you can do it. But now I help other people do it, and I've been doing it for almost 5 years. So I'm not going to give away all the secrets in the video, but the point is, if you have ended it yourself, you know what you had to do to end it. It, again, wasn't fun. It was challenging. It was debilitating. You lost a lot of friends. You probably lost some of your children. You lost acquaintances. You lost money. You lost time. You definitely took a hit on your health. You took a hit on your hobbies. You took a hit on your mindset, your sleep, your eating, your exercise, and so much more. But this is what it takes to break the cycle. This is what it takes to break the trauma bond. This is what it takes to break free from the narcissistic relationship. It is not one size fits all. It is not, I can take a course or read a book and say, oh, that's what I'll do. It's that simple. It's not that simple. Your relationship had multiple moving parts. So did mine. Each and every one of our relationships are similar, but yet unique to ourselves. Just like our fingerprint is unique to ourselves, so are the circumstances of you trying to break the jaws or the clutches of the narcissistic relationship. Again, maybe you have children, maybe you don't, maybe you had stepchildren, maybe you didn't, maybe you owned your business, maybe you were unemployed, maybe you were a stay-at-home mom or dad, maybe you were a stepdad, maybe you were a stepmom, maybe you spoke a different language, maybe you lived in a different jurisdiction, maybe you were 20, maybe you were 50, maybe you were 90. Who knows what your circumstances were, but they were unique to yourself, which is why, again, I will share this. If anybody, and I mean anybody, tells you you will heal in a certain period of time, they don't know what they're talking about. You need to really get the message. It is not one size fits all. Every one of us are unique and different. We are all on the healing path, headed in the same direction, simply taking different footsteps. I've said that expression, which I've coined for almost 5 years now, because it's true. The more you become awakened and aware, educated and empowered, the more you realize how strong you are and how weak the narcissist is. But having said that, the second way is if you ended it yourself. And if you did, you are a very, and I mean very strong person, because you did something that I can assure you you didn't want to do in the beginning, but you realized you had to save your life. Unlike the discard, which came out of left field, you didn't see that coming. You didn't even know what was going to happen. You probably came home from work one day and your house was emptied out and there was no note, no nothing, just pictures of you and the wedding that took place 7 or 8 years ago on the staircase going up, you looking at your bride or you looking at the groom and wondering, what just happened? Yeah, real life experience. And I have so many more experiences I can share, but I'm not going to share them in this video. Having said that, that's the second way if you ended it yourself. Now, the third way is not the way you want to be. You don't want to go through the discard. You don't want to have to end it, because it's challenging, but you're going to have to end it eventually or you are discarded. But anyway you cut it, this relationship that you are in or were in, you're going to have to get out of it. So this is the third way, and my hope is this is not you, but if it is you, you're going to have work to do. It's still staying stuck. It's perhaps knowing what narcissism is, knowing the glossary, knowing the definitions, knowing the behaviors, the mannerisms, having seen them firsthand, and having tolerated poor behavior, but now you figured out what narcissism is, you cracked the code, you found the needle in a haystack, and now you're getting the wisdom, or maybe you have the wisdom. And now you're really understanding after watching thousands of videos, thousands of hours of videos, after journaling, meditating, seeing a therapist, healing childhood wounds, reading books, and doing so much more to put yourself back together, you still haven't blocked them. You still haven't gone no contact, so there's still avenues of communication open with them. And what does this mean? Well, this is what it means to me. And you may have a different opinion, and you're entitled to have whatever opinion you want. But to me, what it means is you still haven't taken the last step. You haven't gone no contact, deleted them or blocked them, removed them, and or flying monkeys and people associated with them. Or maybe you have deleted and blocked everybody but the narcissist. Now, if you made it that far, not in the video, but that far, and you haven't blocked the narcissist yet, what are you waiting for? Play this part of the video, play it a few times. What are you waiting for? They can come back whenever they want to if you haven't blocked them. They can infiltrate your life again. They can play the victim. They can say that they realize that they do love you, that they do care about you. They can do 1,000 different things if you haven't blocked them. So why tempt fate? So the other way, again, let's say that you know who they are and say they discarded you, but you still haven't blocked them. Well, you have work to do. You have to block them eventually. Blocking works. It's not the only solution, but it's a pivotal part of you insulating and protecting yourself. And again, if you had to remove yourself, I'm sure you blocked them. It's probably one of the first things you did. Now you understand exactly what you need to do. Now, having said this, if you're still stuck, if you're still in that position, you need to take this very seriously, because no one is going to do this work for you. No one's going to knock on your door and say you need to do A, B, and C. No one's going to knock your door and say, I understand completely what you went through, and yeah, it's very challenging and I'll be there for you. They're not going to do that because they're not going to be able to wrap their head around what you experienced. Many people are going to say to themselves, like, what's the big deal? You're not over this yet. It's been a year, it's been 3 years, it's been 5 years. Like, what's the big deal? Like, move on, who cares? Well, not so fast. Those people don't understand it and they will never get it. Or wink, wink, maybe they're the toxic person themselves. See, there's so many different layers of the onion to be peeled back. But focusing on the third part, the third way that this will end, another way is this. Other people are in these relationships for 10, 20, 30, 50 years. And they are so beaten down, they are so manipulated, so abused, and so broken that they don't see hope for a better tomorrow. And the narcissist owns them. The narcissist has brainwashed them, groomed them, tricked them, trapped those people. And those people are existing in what is known as the narcissistic fog. Those people, many of them, it is too late for them. Now, do I believe that anyone that is in a narcissistic relationship can escape and get out and heal and put themselves back together? I do. I know they can, but those people have to want it. You can't want it for them. They have to want it, which means something has to switch within them. Something has to click. Something in their own mind has to say, wait, there could be a better tomorrow. Yes, I've been married 30, 40 years, but this person's abusing me. I'm sleeping in a whole different part of the house, in a different wing. We went from romance to roommates. I can't even go downstairs without them stealing my energy. They're taking all my time. I'm paying all the bills. I don't even have any space in the house. It's like I don't even exist. Well, that person basically doesn't exist because their identity's been stolen from them at the hands of the narcissist who perhaps they married. Or it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. You could be living, or a person could be living with their mom who's the narcissist, and the child could be 50 years old and their mom is 70, or their dad is 85 and they're 60. But these people, if they believe that they want to get out, they can get out. Anybody, and I mean anybody, can get out if they put their mind to it. There is help everywhere for people. You just have to be strong enough to ask for it and strong enough to know that you need it. Now, this begs the question, when you're in the narcissistic fog, are you strong enough or capable enough to know that you need to get out? That's the $1 million or $1 billion question. I can tell you from my firsthand experience, I took notes when I was in the relationship on my smartphone. I still have them with the timestamp of a certain year. I've never changed that date, and it's a refresher to remind me of how I was being abused and manipulated, even though I was in the narcissistic fog. But I was smart enough and wise enough and brave enough to take notes, and I still have them as reminders, which is one of the reasons why I reflect on those every once in a while, to see how far I've come. But other people who are trapped 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years living with the narcissist or living in that relationship, they may not see hope. They may be so broken that they don't think that there are better days tomorrow, and there are a lot of people like that. But I believe that anybody, and I mean anybody, if they want to get out of these relationships, they can do it, but they have to want to do it. Other people can't want to get them out. The person themselves has to want to get out. They have to see a little crack. They have to see a little daylight, a little light at the end of the tunnel. Then they have to take that leap of faith and realize that there are better days in front of them, and the better days do not include living with the narcissist or being in a toxic relationship. Again, these people need to want to do it, and I was one of those people, but I got discarded. And anyway you cut it, I put myself back together, and that's why I create videos and pay it forward each and every day. And that's why you are here getting the wisdom in the community, and that's why you're paying it forward with your comments from all the beautiful people all over the globe. Remember, at one point we were the new supply. At one point we were trapped. At one point we didn't think tomorrow would be a better day. At one point we didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But then again, At one point, we didn't know what narcissism was. Now we understand what it is, how it works. We understand how strong we are. We understand where we were, where we are, and where we're going. And it doesn't include the narcissist or any toxic people. So before I close the video, I will share this. There are 3 ways these things end. 1, you get discarded. 2, you end it yourself. Or 3, you stay stuck and trapped. And as time goes on and your life gets eroded and your mindset dwindles and your resources become defunct and you can't function properly and you're existing in that narcissistic fog, the days get longer, they blend together, you forget what year it is, you're wearing the same clothes, you don't have a voice, you're being given the silent treatment, but yet you're still paying the bills. You are what is called built-in supply, and the narcissist is plugging into you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can't see a better day. My hope is that is not you. If it is you, play this video, play it a few times, and recognize and understand and realize you can get out. There is help. You need to want to do it. You need to want to break the chains of the narcissistic relationship and get out and save yourself. That's what I had to do, and that's what so many of us had to do. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. I love you all. And I will talk to you tomorrow. It is getting dark here, and it's misty, and it's overcast and raining. This location is one of my favorite because it is relatively quiet. And with the rain falling down, and there are deer walking around behind me, and I can't see them here, but earlier I could see them, and not in the video, but on my way up here. This place is peaceful. It's abundant. It's safe. It's pristine. It's full of life, Mother Nature, and abundance. This is where you will be one day. No, not here sitting with me, but you will be at the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference, where I am standing, reaching my hands down to lift you up, to pull you up to where I am. And when you get there, it's the best view on the planet. You will see down on humanity. You will understand where you were. You will see where the narcissist is slithering all over the planet, and you will realize that you've elevated, you've ascended, you are in rarefied air, and that's where you belong after where you had been placed for such a long period of time, which is the narcissistic relationship. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.